Hi, I'm Capstan. Are you confused about dividing square roots? Then you're in the right place. Let's get started. Let's take a look at this expression. You'll notice that there is a square root in the denominator of that. Square root of 2 is an irrational number, and in math, we typically don't like to have a square root or an irrational number in the denominator. This is because with rational numbers in there, it's easier to do the calculations later on when things get a little more complicated. So we need to get that square root out of the denominator using a process called rationalization. And the way we do that is similar to how we found equivalent fractions in other videos. We multiply by a form of the number 1. In this case, the square root of 2 over the square root of 2, which you can understand is equal to 1. And what this does is it changes the way it looks without changing the value. So when you multiply by 1, it doesn't change the value. So if I multiply the numerators, I get 3 times the square root of 2. And when I multiply the denominator, the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is 2, just like we talked about in the previous video. And you can see now we no longer have an irrational number in the denominator. We have rationalized it. Let's take a look at another example. Here we have the square root of a fraction, and we know that the square root of this fraction is the same thing as taking the square root of the top, the square root of the denominator. And now we have that irrational number here. We want to multiply by 1 to get that out of there. Multiply by the square root of 7 times the square root of 7. And we pick that because we know when we multiply by this square root of 7, it's going to give us a perfect square, which is going to then become just 7. And then when we multiply the numerators, we get the square root of 21. Okay? Let's have you guys try one. You can pause the video while you're working on that one, and when you come back, I'll give you the answer. So go ahead and pause now. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully, as you were doing this, you got the square root of 66 over 6. And if you did, that's good. That's the correct answer. If this number, and you can see it's kind of big, if that number could have been broken down, you should have also broken that down like we had broken down square roots before. So always look to make sure that whatever product you get there can be broken down. Okay? Let's do one more example. You can see in this one, it's a little more complicated. We have some numbers outside the radicals. So in order to get rid of this, to rationalize this, we're still just going to multiply by the square root of 2. The numerator becomes 2 square roots of 2. And in the denominator, we're going to have 5 times 2. And you can see here that would have been 10, but I'm going to go ahead and reduce this fraction by dividing by the 2. And I get my final answer as the square root of 2 over 5. Hopefully, if you were confused about dividing square roots, you found yourself in the right place.